So I asked him what's his budget. He said 20,000, and I know he has some maintenance money as well on the side. Okay. So that's good. That always helps.
That's a good budget right there.
So let's say the total all in 30 as a starter truck, because let's be honest, this is a truck that is what we're trying to solve for here is to how to get into when you're buying a truck. What is the cost of you become like I would say the lower cost of becoming an owner operator. Okay, welcome to Truckyoo Podcast. My name is Sebastian.
Jose.
How's it going?
Pretty good.
You stayed late again last night?
Yeah, pretty late. What was it, 8:30, I believe?
What was it last minute?
It was a last minute customer, Trailer Airlines. He ripped them off, so he just wanted them replaced last minute.
You got kingpins in the back going?
Yeah,
in the
kingpins, yeah. That's what they're beating out right now.
Just turn off your phone. Yeah. So today we're going to talk about what happened in the shop, but I just want to give heads up everybody up on what we're talking about. So we're going to help somebody buy a truck, right? We have one of our listeners is
Double
R. Robert is looking for a truck, so we're going to try to help him find one. Not even help him, but help him maybe
guide him the right way,
him
hopefully.
A little bit what to look for. And it's one of the trucks that we buy, and we have a lot of those. So that will be a lot of fun. What's been happening in the shop? Because it's been a while. I would say.
Well, we finally got the counterboards done on the Detroit 12.7.
We did, yes. That was. We should definitely shoot some videos
on this, yeah.
So we'll do that, and then we're doing the overhaul on the Mercedes.
On the Mercedes, yeah.
That let's try to shoot as much as we can. Yeah. Obviously, it's hard since we have to do our jobs but as much as we can, we should probably
try to pick up as much content.
Yeah. Especially for both of those overhauls together. Simultaneously going on. I think it's going to be a lot of good content. We got a new technician in our team.
Yeah,
Tom. He's been here already a week and a half.
Yeah,
week and a half. He's been whipping out a lot of work as well, so that's helping. And yeah, just pretty much. I'm trying to think of a situation that's worth mentioning about. That we were fixing, but other than just guys having issues.
Guy got towed in.
Oh yeah, that was interesting.
Clutch release arm broke on it.
Yeah,
snapped off, and he got towed in. He called service. Road service said no, you need a clutch.
Yeah,
so he got it towed in.
He got it towed into us. Found us on Google Maps and brought it in. When I talked to him, he was like, man. They told me it's a clutch, and he was pretty scared about the bill. We started looking at it. It was the arm.
Yeah.
And it's like a few $100s.
It wasn't in and out one day.
Yeah. He got in, and we pulled him out, and that was obviously somebody didn't want to fix it on the road.
Exactly.
It was cold.
But how about those towing guys? They didn't. They removed the axle shafts and they didn't put the gaskets on there.
Yeah. A mess, oil all over the rims. Yeah. It was just he dumped a lot of oil.
Yeah.
So, our towing guy that we're using, that we recommend, that's why we use him. He's very thorough with everything that he does. Those guys are just, I don't know.
They were trying to do a quick job, and that's it.
Yeah, the rig was.
It was nice.
It was a nice rig, so you would expect them to. Give you a quality service, but we don't know the circumstances. Maybe they couldn't. Or
it looked like they were rookies, but
yeah,
one of them.
Well, let's. So, other than that, It's end of the year, so we're planning already for next year what we're gonna do, and that's we have some ideas. I'm looking at a truck I didn't tell you. I did tell you, but I'm going to talk about it on the podcast. I am looking at a D12. So our listener is asking for some help, so we're gonna help with that. But I am looking at a D12 right now.
Okay.
It's a really good condition Volvo, no minimal rust. So
Adding another one to the fleet.
yeah, or just having a spare truck, or just having something on the side.
Okay. Something to work. Probably try to flip it or something.
Flip it, or depending on how much I'm gonna buy it for, I might put it up for sale just because we have few spares already, and I don't think we need more. But it's a good truck to not I don't want to pass the opportunity. So we'll see. I'll dig into it. Let them while I see it today. So I'll probably shoot some videos around that. But let's get back to the our double R. He's looking for. So hey, I've been trying to find a Volvo D12 motor, 355 ratio, decent miles, less than 800,000.
Would be perfect.
Yeah, less than 800,000 miles. So let's just kind of set the context. Those D12s were made till 08. 2008 was the last one. You could still see some of 08s with the D12.
Right.
Some unicorns. There's not. They were
not many. Then the D13 came out.
Yeah. So 800,000 is going to be hard to find.
Yeah, but especially for 07, let's say, because like we said, 08 is going to be.
Yeah. So the one I'm looking at has 1 million, and it's an 05 or 06.
Okay.
D12. We bought this year. We bought at least 2 of them that were on 800,000 miles, and I bought them because they were at 800,000 miles. And somebody called me like, "Hey, I have those. Do you want them?" And they were 10 speeds. One is 13, one is 10 speed. Beautiful trucks. We've done our
we went through them and everything.
Our work. Yes. So if he's looking at 800,000, so it is possible to find them. I've talked to him on the phone as well. I think it would be, it's not going to be easy to find that 800,000, but I would even consider going higher if you find it from an owner that has records of what he's done. Because that 800,000, if you have records of the transmission was done, or clutch.
Clutch. Oil change on the trans or on the diffs.
Were the diffs done?
Yeah.
This simple stuff. There's not a lot that the truck needs attention. Like at that 800,000 mile mark, you're gonna start looking at
injector cups, air compressor. We can also say turbo on the D12s. They don't really. They're not that expensive.
Yeah, they're not that expensive,
and they rarely go out.
I've on all to be honest with you, and just for the context, I think we have 30 of those. I don't remember having turbo problems.
Yeah, it's really rare.
EGR, yes, but EGR it's a cheap part, so you can swap it out. Now EGR cooler, that's a different thing.
Yeah, that's a different. Yeah, EGR coolers go out on them often.
Yeah. So if there's a record of EGR cooler either being cleaned or replaced, perfect. Look at the valves, the EGR valves. Oftentimes, when you're buying them at that mileage, they will look newer, and that means they were replaced not too long ago. I've seen quite few of them that I bought that were replaced, which helps. But then the EGR cooler can cause some issues. 800,000, I would say. Depending on the transmission, we've had some.
Well, 800,000, I would say the clutch was done roughly, let's say 500,000, 600,000 range.
So that would be needing a clutch.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it all depends on the previous owner, what kind of work they were doing. If they were doing local runs, obviously you're using the clutch more.
Yeah, and it depends who you're buying the truck from. right? Because if there's an owner that knew that he had a good truck and took care of it and has the records, that's definitely a good truck to look at.
Yeah.
Because if you're buying just from a guy that beat the truck to, on just didn't care because he just wanted to make money
Yeah.
and push it, then but if you can find one that somebody took care of and has records, and even if with a higher mileage, I would still go for it than looking just for a lower mileage, because again, the 800,000 mile mark is going to be tough. You can find one with 1 million, I think, and I know you have similar opinion. Those D12s are 2 million mile engines.
Yeah.
The problem is staying on top of everything else,
Maintenance.
overheads, just general maintenance, right? So if you can kind of look at the engine's history and see who had it and how long they had it and what they did to it.
I would run a compression test on it. Since it's a D12, we can run a compression test on it.
Yeah, I was gonna get to that. Compression test. Was there overhead down? When was the overhead down?
Pull the valve cover. Check the valve clearance.
Yeah. And then they do have issues with harnesses.
Yeah.
So something that worth mentioning is that there will be codes. Look at the codes, and we have a video on our channel to how to look it up. But what I would say is look at the code. See, there's what's like the prime. You can run that truck with some of the codes and all of the data link codes, because of the harness is starting to degrade, are going to start showing up. That doesn't mean the truck's going to
no, it doesn't mean it's going to go downhill.
Yeah. We've had a significant experience with the data links, with harnesses, with things that would show up on the computer when we run diag on it, and then they're fine for years.
Yeah.
Right. Obviously, you want to address the things that you want, but some of them are just communication issues.
Issues with the vehicle ECU or one of the modules, ABS module.
Yeah. So I asked him what's his budget. He said 20,000, and I know he has some maintenance money as well on the side. Okay. So that's good. That always helps.
That's a good budget right there.
So let's say the total all in 30 as a starter truck, because let's be honest, this is a truck that is what we're trying to solve for here is to how to get into when you're buying a truck, what is the cost of you become like I would say the lower cost of becoming an owner operator, right? Because the best thing is from what I know about the operation, just kind of OTR, somewhat OTR, East Coast Midwestern running. The best thing, in our opinion, would be just to buy a glider if you can afford it, right? That's the best thing I would do and how I would go about it. But I've mentioned a couple of things before, and I'm gonna jump in really quickly to one thing, which is you never know what you're gonna buy, even with gliders, because we've had some experience with gliders that like, okay, this is the risk we're taking. Right? Yeah. We now have to fix the truck, and we're 100% aware of that might have happened. Now, I always go back to we're trying to look for the most reliable truck that will get you in to the business, and the number one question is, why do you want to be in this business? Which
right.
is because with my experience, and I'm trying to set a little bit more paint more picture here, is what I've been hearing a lot from owners is I just want to make more money,
more profit,
right? Which it's
a no-brainer. Everybody
it's a no-brainer, right? But are you willing to work more to do that?
Yeah.
Because the problem is when you're starting to think you're going to work less and you're going to make more.
No.
Right. So that's what I want to solve for. It's like that's not going to happen. If you're jumping into a truck like that, or any truck, you have to know everything is as much as possible for you to help you be in this business.
Yeah.
Because the biggest problem is that drivers buy trucks just not really understanding what they're buying, and what can go wrong, which we've been preaching for. That's why the podcast exists. So again, let's say the $30,000 mark, we're buying for 20. Do you think you can buy? Because I know the answer to it, but do you think you can buy that D12 around 800,000 around 20? Definitely, right?
Yeah.
You can really find if you do the work and you start
Find something under 15. I would say
easy, and around that mile mark with good records. Not, I would say, look maybe south of the rust belt, so something that's not as rusty, because the Volvos do rust. All of the trucks rust. But if you can find a healthy, not rusty
frame, engine
cab,
components,
door, everything. The door likes
doors.
to rust because of the drain. Do you know why they rust? Why all the Volvo trucks have issues on the door?
No.
There's a drain. There's drain holes on them. They get plugged, and the water sits there and just eats the whole. Eats the bottom. So like, that will definitely, the not rusted truck is definitely a key, because we just bought one that has 800,000, but it's not bad, but there are areas I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
And I bought it off of somebody that I trust, and it's a really good truck. The thing is, it's like I wish it was less rusted, because it would have lasted a lot longer. And so you can find definitely something on 15K with records. I think it's a really good beginner truck, good starter truck, and depending on the type of work you're doing, obviously look at the transmission and then the rear ends. The 355s is the most
really
common one.
Really common, especially I would say for the Midwest.
Yeah. And how would you know if it's a 355? Where to look for it?
On a Volvo, open up the driver's door. You're gonna have your tag where your VIN number's at. It's gonna tell you your axle ratio.
Yeah, it will show you the axle ratio, transmission, all the information that you need. So make sure you take a picture of. I usually take a picture of that. Run the VIN number, and you can run it. There are a few websites that do that check your VINs for big rigs, and I always run it just to see.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. There's it's the same thing as
like a Carfax,
but it's for big rigs, and it's helpful. You can see the history, the record of the what the truck did. But so he's got experience in the industry. He's been in the industry, which is great. The $10,000 set aside for repairs and incentives. That's perfect.
That's perfect.
That's exactly where you want to be, right? And the 10K, if you buy the truck right, then that'll go a long way.
Yeah.
Because that's a pretty good budget. So if you have the records of the of clutch, or transmission, or diffs being taken care of, and they're in good shape, then that truck is going to last a really long.
Regardless if he does find a vehicle with that mileage year, obviously there's always going to be minor brake shoes, drums,
wearables. And that's always
it's going to add up, but it's going to be stuff that's going to last.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of a problem with all of our trucks that kind of knocked out a truck from its existence, and I'm trying to think, other than that one episode we had with the D12 started to knock, but the truck just wasn't worth fixing, and we just kept it as parts. Remember? You don't remember? It's sitting in the back, and we were just taking parts from it, because I got it, and it drove in a local route right here, and then it started knocking, and it was just like, it just doesn't make sense to fix all that stuff. So we just started using its part truck, which that's the only one I've remembered going bad. And we just decided to keep one because we needed parts and we needed to swap some stuff. So they're definitely very reliable, and I'm making it hard on myself right now, because I want to buy all D12s, and now people will look for it. Well, all the 100 people that listen to us. Okay, so that's a good budget for repairs and maintenance.
I mean, I would definitely take it to a local shop, have the front end inspected, like a DOT basically.
Yeah. Yeah. Do
DOT and a pre-purchase inspection. Hook up the laptop. Read the codes. What else would I look for? Oil leaks more than anything.
Yeah. The transmission would be my number one thing, because we've had to swap some of them.
Yeah.
So the transmission cost, let's say you do have to put one in,
roughly what, $3,500 at the highest.
Yeah. Just put a remit transmission in it, and you're good with a clutch.
With a new clutch, and you're gonna be good.
So that's something that I would definitely look for as far as records if I was gonna buy one, and then look at the diffs. The diffs like to rust. You can see that,
we had one.
And the power dividers go out on that. That's something that with that mileage you can expect the power divider to go out. Yeah. So, what else? I'm trying to think. The cab. Look at the cab mounts.
Yeah. Front
mount, and back. The back, the shocks, the airbags.
Basically, just look at the airbags. If you see the airbags are shifted to either side, that's usually a sign of a bad cab mount.
Yeah, and the cost on that is not that expensive to fix.
What else would be? Obviously, interior. You gotta take a look at the interior. You're gonna be in there 12 hours, 10 hours.
Yeah. The seat is definitely something that we've been swapping a lot.
Yeah.
The
especially at $800,000, that seat's gonna be worn out.
It will be, but they hold up really well. That's a good point you did with a good thing to talk about is we don't have a lot of high mileage Freightliners, but the ones we have, I still like the Volvos better than the Freightliners.
The seats?
In general, the dash.
Oh, okay.
The dash just holds up so much better.
You think so?
Look at some of the Columbias. You're gonna have a 400 $500,000 Columbia, and the thing is shaking and kind of falling apart. And God forbid you have to take it apart to fix the gauge or something.
Yeah.
Good luck putting it back together.
All the plastic, everything, they get brittle.
Yeah, and it's so look at an 800,000 to $1 million mile Volvo. Everything is tight.
Solid, yeah.
Everything is super. Nothing's, So that's definitely a build quality, and if
hood shocks, I would look at that.
Hood shocks. Oh yeah,
because then you want to prevent that hood repair.
Yeah, so that's a common problem, where if you don't replace the hood shocks and you let the hood open up and fall, it's gonna start ripping the brackets out. It's gonna rip the brackets out.
The hinge is gonna come off from that. From the hood.
And we've significantly we've had a lot of those repairs.
Yeah.
On
well, it's really common on the Volvo. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the second thing. It's not expensive to get. Just swap those shocks. But like I said, a D12 with a 355 ratio, 10 speed. It's a common truck, and just look for the records. I would say the records, and it's not gonna be, because when I talked to him, he was like, it's hard to find. I'm like, yeah, but if you find it, it's well worth it.
Yeah.
And even I know he's looking in different states as well. I would so how to look for them? Craigslist.
Yeah.
There's I mentioned that app before. It's called BRZO. You can set, and it searches all Craigslist in the U.S. in the world, but in the U.S. it searches all Craigslist ads, and you just have to make sure to put a good title, good search term, and you can find it that way. And then Facebook Market is now
that's another one.
It gets a lot of it has a lot of stuff. I browse it all the time for old trucks. And then BRZO, and then Search Tempest, all those things.
Truck Paper, that's older one, but that's usually more from dealerships.
Yeah, it is, but I found some
owner
stuff. I found some stuff there. Yeah, and then forums, man. Like just
forums,
forums and Facebook groups. There's Facebook groups that have that sell trucks, and you can just ask, hey, I'm looking for. I just actually recently saw a guy sell one for $15,000, and he had so much work done to it. I'm like, man.
For 15?
Yeah. He had to actually drop it because nobody wanted it, because it had like 1.1 million miles.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but the first thing, the compression test, like you mentioned, at that mileage and the overhead, and I jumped back to the engine, but it is something that I would immediately address.
Definitely, yeah. Once you first purchase a vehicle,
the valve adjustment.
Yeah, valve adjustment.
Yeah.
We had a D13 here yesterday, injector cups,
Mm-hmm.
and it's gonna be needing a head pretty soon because ran the overhead on it. Tom ran the overhead on it, and he did see that the valve seats are starting to wear out. You can see that the valves are going up.
What's the mileage?
I believe it's at 600,000.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. 650 roughly.
Yeah, it's a local truck, so he doesn't have a lot of mileage. But there you go. And ask me how many heads I had to swap on the D12.
None.
And we now we're running overheads again on the entire fleet, and I'm pretty sure we can get those engines without like 1.8.
Yeah,
if you take care of them, which is amazing for.
I mean, yeah, definitely. ISX, I definitely don't see it going around that mileage at all.
No,
definitely not.
I found a lot of guys Cummins is like there's going to be a lot of opinions around should I go with the Cummins or D12 or D13. Again, different era as far as emissions, but I've seen super committed Cummins guys from that same era, so up to 2007-8.
Yeah,
and then obviously I'm the D12 guy. I would rather buy the D12 than the Cummins because I had the Cummins once
and you had bad experience.
I had bad experience, and I've just never seen them do a lot of mileage.
No,
compared with the D12.
Rarely do you see them hit the 1,000,000 mile mark.
Yeah,
without any repairs.
Yeah, major repairs. Yeah.
Like we had a customer come in last week. What was his complaint? Blow by.
Yeah.
And he had, what was it, mileage? 500,000.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. True. Yeah, we should do an episode on Cummins alone. I think it's a very because the ones we have, the ones we've had experienced before, I think it's worth doing an episode just on Cummins and kind of each model emission standard, each model, and look at the differences what they did. I think it would be
definitely be a pretty good episode.
Okay, anything else you want to throw in?
I would check it'd be something visible. Check the tire wear.
Yeah.
On the front end.
Just the visible stuff.
Yeah, visible stuff.
The little things like again, doing the visible check and knowing and talking to the guy that drove it, that has the records, because if you really you will not get a perfect truck for that money.
No,
even if the tires are messed up.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna do front end, you're gonna do kingpins, you're looking to spend what, 1,200.
Yeah. So kingpins, we do have videos on our channel, and maybe I could find a link.
Send them a link. What to look for on the
kingpins. Yeah, and because we've had it, and then that could be a costly repair.
Yeah.
And then so look at the tire wear for sure. Look at I don't think if somebody's selling it, they're gonna put new tires on it.
No, I doubt it. Or they'll probably put something a little bit better to hide away the bad kingpins. You never know.
To leave with. We're almost arriving at 30 minutes here. What would be the pattern that you would could describe for them? Obviously, we could video. We're not doing video on it in that way. We would have to walk out and show it. But what would be something to look for the kingpins when the kingpins are bad?
When, like on my side as a tech, I would just when I'm down there doing a PM, if you see any sort of rust between the shims and the axle, the spindle and the axle. Obviously, no grease.
Yeah, no grease, and you're gonna see the tire wear
out.
What's the pattern on the tire that you're looking at?
They start wearing out on the sides.
Yeah. So that's a quick tip for the kingpins. I think that's helpful. I think it would be fun to look into some other models, and people were asking even emission stuff that we've helped some customers buy some trucks as well. We have customers that buy 14 15s emission trucks, and we're all for it. We have our approach to how we like trucks, but there are many different ways to skin the cat and do it right. And as long as you do the maintenance properly and work on and are aware of emissions and what they're going to cost, go for it. And I think if anybody listening would like to go to is buying a truck or looks for an opinion, leave a comment under a video or a podcast, and then we can sit down and just analyze it
like this
we did
one right
now.
here.
And I think it's fun for us and for the listeners.
I definitely think he's going to find something for that price range. Definitely.
He's well set to do it.
Honestly, I could say 10,000, 12,000 mark, you're going to find something.
Yeah.
Especially with a D12 Volvo. I see it happening.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you, man.
Good luck finding the truck.
Good luck finding the truck, Robert. Let us know how it's going. I say keep us posted.
Yeah, any other questions?
Yeah, and then keep leaving comments on the videos and on the podcast so we can kind of see how you're doing and how he's doing with the truck. So, guys, thank you for listening. Subscribe if you haven't. Share with your friends, and we'll talk to you soon.
Before I let you go, I just wanted you to visit our Instagram page. It's at truck.yoo on Instagram, and give us some feedback. Tell us what would you like to hear about, and any ideas, any recommendations, comments are greatly appreciated. This episode was brought to you by Egr Transport and Egr Service out of Chicago. Guys, thank you very much. Share, subscribe, and drive safe. We'll talk to you soon.